Hello, this is the Winning with Shopify podcast. And by popular demand, Janet has texted us. I say text us, it sounds like a radio phone-in show. We got a message from Janet saying, Janet, on your next Tea Break Talks, can you start the show differently? So Janet, I thought if I read out your message, I've never done that before, so I started the show differently. Great to have you tuning in. Hope the business is going well. Please don't shout out my business. I'm slightly embarrassed by it, but I'm making headway listening to your podcast. So yeah, good luck, Janet. All going very, very well. I've also been asked by Lorna at the Bean Shop to do a coffee talks at some point, which I will, Lorna. Today, just before I tell you what we're actually doing here, because the first time you tuned in, you're like, who is this random guy? This will all make sense if you listen to a few episodes. But yeah, all of in good fun. Today, I've got a cup of tea. And I need to read the label, actually. I don't know what this is. One of my team just made it. Lemongrass and ginger. It's organic, bio, whatever that means. It's organic, which must be healthy. And lemongrass and ginger, delicious. Ginger, good for the throat. We're doing the Ecom Expo over the next Tuesday when you listen to this, which will be Tuesday 23rd when you're watching this, listening to this onwards. And Wednesday 24th. Tuesday 23rd, you listen to this. I've such a tired brain. Wednesday and Thursday this week, we're going to be at the e-commerce expo. So I'm drinking lots of ginger tea so I don't lose my voice at the expo because I'm going to spend all day, every day talking, which anyone who listens to the show knows I'm very good at just talking, but I want to make sure my voice has substance and things I'm saying. Welcome to the show. If it's your first time tuning in, please do hit the subscribe button. If it's not, then welcome back. Great to have you. You know the deal. Hit the subscribe button anyway, if you haven't already. Today, we're going to be talking about a few things, which we always do on a Tuesday. This is Nick's Tuesday Tea Break Talks, because I'm British, I drink tea. It seems like a good stereotype to live up to globally, and who doesn't love a good cup of tea? Hence why I told you what tea I've got. We're going to be talking a bit about, I've got my notes here, except I just dropped them. We are going to be talking about the latest Shopify news and things that are going on well. We have something from our partners and also a couple of bits going on in our agency. We do PPC and SEO in our agency. It's called Spec. I've been running it since 2011. It's all good fun. I'm going to share some things going on that can help you guys boost your PPC and SEO revenue. Without further ado, I have not one but two quotes this week. One that was sent in by Drew. I thought was really silly. So I've come up with my own one for this week. And I'm going to read Drew's out anyway. But so the one I've got is quite a well-known saying, and I absolutely love this. I do think of this on a regular basis, actually. A bad plan well executed was better than a brilliant plan executed late. So a bad plan executed, well executed was better than a brilliant plan executed too late. So sometimes you come up with all these great ideas. Just try something. We have a rule, actually, in the agency, which is like, try 10 things. And if one of them works, great, you found something that works. If you try one thing and it doesn't work, or you try no things, guaranteed nothing's going to work. So increase your odds by trying more things all the time and keep a log of which things you've tried and which ones have worked well. Nice and simple. And thanks, Drew, for this. I'm not actually going to shout your business out because it is funny, but it's nothing to do with the show. Did make me laugh. He said, I couldn't find my boomerang, but then it hit me. Thanks, Drew. I don't even know what business you're from, Drew. I wasn't going to shout you out, but your email address is just Drew, and I won't read the rest of it out. It's Drew something at gmail.com. There we go. Anyway, welcome to today's show. Sorry if my camera's fading in and out. I don't know what's going on. We'll have to ask the editors, Josh, Sophie, and Max, what's going on with that. I'll give them a quick note. Anyway, Shopify news then. There's a few things going on. Two are pretty cool, and the third one is absolutely massive. And if you're not doing something with the third one, you're an absolute numpty, and you shouldn't be listening to this show because then you're ignoring our advice. And my advice is do something with the third one. The first one is you can now do a quick sale on the Shopify app for instant in-purchase transactions, which is quite good. You don't have to use a point-of-sale system. You just, on the app, on your phone, let's go, have a sale. Lovely. Second one is you can now find and install apps through Sidekick AI. If you haven't used Sidekick AI, it's pretty good. The age of AI is officially here, as you probably have noticed. But things like that are actually working quite well. So if you need it to do something, have a conversation with it, and it can help not only find the app, but also install it, which saves you a bit of time. If we just use AI to speed things up and save time, fantastic. It can do so much more than that. But if we just used it for that, then that is great. And final one, this is what you need to do something with. So you can now segment your customers based on product categories they've browsed or bought. So if Joe Blogs is one of your customers, Joe's currently on your site and Joe is browsing your t-shirts, you can send her an email or segment her into a segmentation going, she's been browsing t-shirts, and start emailing people. That is really, it's such a simple thing, but that is really, really cool. The possibilities become endless about sending relevant content on your emails all the time to increase your revenue. So if somebody's been browsing shoes a lot and they've never bought a pair of shoes from you, send them your shoe buying guide on an email with a 5% off discount code. And we will come back to discount codes a little bit later. Something very, very exciting is afoot. Anyway, and that'll be in what's called our Quivia at the end. Trivia meets question. I'm so proud of that. My wife said to me, and he starts smiling every time we say Quivia. We've heard it before. It's like, not everyone's heard it, and it's one of the best things I've ever come up with because I'm not very creative in that sense. All right, other news. I've already read that out. We're going to be at Ecom Expo tomorrow and Thursday. So if you're in London, come say hi. Say, Nick, love the show. And yeah, we got chocolate. We'll give you free chocolate. And we can have a look at your website if you want. We've got a little challenge going on. So come and see us if you want. It's 2 minutes to find 2 major things that are holding back your PPC or SEO growth. My team are primed and ready. We've got a giant stress button enter key. So you can smash it with your hand. A 2-minute timer starts on the screen. Very exciting. And I used an AI bot. Going back to AI. I used an AI bot to write the code for that and put it all in our branding. And there's little fireworks that go off while the timer's going off. I think it's very, very cool. It took me about 10 minutes to make without touching any code myself. Final point, Cyber Weekend soon. Get ready for it. It's in December this year, I think it is. I Googled it. It's quite late. So you've got even more time to get ready for it. But actually, normally people kick off their Christmas activity on Black Friday or over Cyber Weekend, and then kind of Christmas starts. But actually, if it's happening in December this year, you probably want to start your Christmas activity a heck of a lot earlier than that. It seems to be getting later every year, and I don't know if it's just where the weeks fall. I don't actually know how they come up with the date for it. It might be, because obviously Black Friday, it might be when the most retailers go from the red, making a loss, into the black, where they start making a profit, into peak. I believe is how it started, and that's what it's supposed to mean. So I don't know. Maybe someone said that people are buying Christmas stuff later and later, so that's Black Friday now and it's later. I don't know, but it's late this year. Keep an eye on it every year. Put it on a massive calendar on the wall and get ready for it nice and early. Right, partner news. Also, I feel like all this stuff's about us this week, so I don't write all these notes. Partner news. Seguno and my agency Spec, and I'm going to be hosting it, have teamed up to do a webinar, which can be really exciting. And it's all about peak. It's all about holiday season this year, starting with Cyber Weekend, someone's calling it. Starting with Black Friday through to Cyber Monday and then into peak. And we're going to be talking about mastering the e-commerce peak, as we call it. We haven't fully come up with every title yet, but you can go and sign up to it. It's going to be action-packed. It's going to help you try and make as much money as possible through peak. It is on, where are we? 8th of October, 2025, obviously, because this is a 2025 episode I'm putting out right now. So 8th of October it's going to be, and it's going to be 3 o'clock UK time, which is 9 a.m. New York time. And if you're in LA, opportunity for an early start, go out for a run, tune into the webinar. It will be available to listen to afterwards, I believe, but if you come along, you can ask us questions. There's going to be some Q&A sections in there as well. There'll be no more than 2 hours. I think we put it in for 90 minutes. It's going to be very, very exciting, and it's part of a 2-part series. So the second one is going to be in January. We haven't put a date aside for it yet, but we will before the first one happens, because that's good email marketing. So when people come to the first one, we've already got the second one announced, started getting people to sign up, and everybody comes to the first one or books to the first one, all time to come to the second one as well. The second one's going to be in January, and it's going to be Inventory Planner and Seguno, hosted by yours truly. And I'm going to be getting those guys to chat about what they should be doing now. It's post-peak. We're in January. January blues is starting to hit. The most depressing day of the year is around the corner. What can we do for our customers to cheer them all up and make some more money selling products and getting more customers into our website? And the strategy for 2026 and what you should be doing from an email, customer service, customer interaction, whatever you want to call it, that internal communication to existing customers perspective, but then also what you should be doing with your stock and everything else on that side as well. Some learnings from the agency. I've kept it simple this week. We've got 3, but the first one's broken into a few bits. So the first one is about SEO. We are doing a lot of SEO where we're trying to target full funnel, which means when somebody's sitting there not thinking about buying your product, how do we convince them to come and buy your product? As top of funnel, it's the awareness to tell people, hey, this product exists, or we exist, or this concept exists, and you should think about buying a product to solve this problem in your life or improve this part of your life, whatever it might be. The second bit then is a middle of funnel, which is more like, okay, I'm aware of this thing. Now I might start engaging in it. Do I need it? Do I not? What different types are there? And you start doing a bit of research. Both those stages happened to me in a car garage recently, where I paid a deposit before leaving when I'd just gone in to go, I'm thinking about buying that car. I went to glance at it, and by the time I'd left the deposit and then had to explain to my wife, I've bought a new car. That day you left me alone for a day to do what I wanted. I bought a car. I just popped into 7-Eleven, bought a car. And then the bottom of funnel stage is where people aren't ready to buy, which means some of them might not have decided a few things about it, but they've gone, I'm going to buy one of these things. Now, which one shall I get? So an example at the top would be, I wonder what things are going on in the internet, or I'm reading the news, and oh, look, a new sofa. There's a really nice sofa over there, and that's the awareness. Now I'm aware of the fact that some nice sofas out there, which you might be aware of already. But starts the process. Then the middle of funnel, okay, I think I might want to buy a sofa. What would a sofa do to my life? What kind of colors could I look at? What would it, are there any types? Or there's a bit of content there. I've got a bit of a bad back, and this sofa apparently will help my posture or help my back or help me feel more comfortable after a long day sitting at my desk. That's why I've got standing desks. And then the bottom of funnel, which is I'm going to buy a sofa. Which sofa am I going to buy? So the challenge then, and this is where SEO can be really powerful and very cost effective, is how do you, this is my challenge to you, is not just doing all three of those things. The challenge is you do not want to do this stuff and get lots of customers interested in buying a sofa. And then when they get to that bottom of funnel stage and they go, right, I'm going to go and buy a sofa, they go to Google and you're the least competitive. Or they start seeing ads for people selling sofas because they've shown a bit of an interest in Google and Meta and Bing and all the other big advertising platforms have noticed that this person is interested in buying a sofa now, and they start advertising all the sofa brands to them, even though you were the one that did the awareness. So the challenge then is how do you keep someone engaged throughout the funnel? So what we've done is at the top of the funnel, the awareness stage, we've set a challenge. So you can go and enter a challenge, a competition to get people to give us their email addresses, and we could do the second and third phases of that tactical approach to get them to buy a product. We can do that over email, which is a lot cheaper than doing it any other way. But plus, we've got them locked into our ecosystem now, so they're receiving our emails. Everyone else still has to pay to get in front of that customer. We can just email them, which is quite smart. So you don't want to convince someone to buy the sofa and then they go to a competitor. So our advice really is start at the bottom, nick other people's customers. So let other people do the hard work, and you then take the customer and they're on Google going, I want to buy a 3-person grey sofa. Show your ads then, get in front of them and get as many of those guys as possible. Wait until you don't think you can get, statistically, you're aware of the fact you can't get any more customers at the bottom of the funnel. Now you need to go to the middle of the funnel and go, right, these are people that think they might want to buy a sofa now. So let's start interjecting in front of them and getting them to come and buy our sofas. Again, email signups really, really important. Get them to trade their email to read your bulletproof guide, or get them to sign up to have a free one-to-one video personal shop about buying that sofa. Again, make it relevant to your business. And then top of funnel, again, competition or something where we're not even really talking about sofas at this stage. We're just doing it as what I call a land grab. You want to grab as much data as possible, as many email addresses as possible. So we're doing that on SEO. Why would you do that more on SEO than on paid channels? Well, because you'd have to pay for the SEO traffic. If you ranked number one for something and you started getting 1 million clicks a month on that, even if it's not, I want to buy a sofa right now, it might be, what are the sofa trends for 2026? Getting people to go and read that guide with little prompts going, sign up for more content like this, or sign up for 5% of your first order, or sign up to get exclusive access to our next sale. That might get people signing up. And again, now you've got their email and you can nurture them. But the point is, if you pay for that traffic on PPC, the total conversion rate of all of those people compared to who actually purchases at the end is going to be really, really low. And the advertising side of it's probably not going to be cost effective. So SEO is a fantastic way of doing that. If you end up with people in your email list that get in your emails, clicking your emails and not purchasing, you can do something with that. If people are clicking your ads and not purchasing, it's costing you a lot of money, and it's probably making the business a massive loss as well. So it's a real concern when that happens. That's the longest of the 3 things for this week. The second one, this one's quite simple, but it's one of the biggest, most overlooked parts of SEO. And we were doing this for a client recently, and they said we had an agency do all of this before, but no one's actually looked at it since. And what it is so many people choose a keyword and then they go and optimize their title tag and meta description. That's what makes your SEO listing on Google. So you optimize that and now you've got a new listing. Fantastic. What if that's not the best? And guarantee on the first go of this, it will not be your best work because you've not tried anything yet. So what you want to do is you want to go and change all of them, all your title tags, meta descriptions, to see what happens to my ranking, because you might find actually Google doesn't take any interest the first time you change it. And also, whether it takes interest or not, the other metric you want to look at is your click-through rate. So how many people now see me, or how many people are seeing me, and are we now getting a higher percentage of people clicking through? One of the biggest things we find with SEO, which is where SEO, I think, can learn from PPC, where PPC can benefit from SEO doing top of funnel. What SEO can learn from PPC is those listings, that title tag and meta description, that is your advert on SEO. That is your advert that's going to hook people in. And a lot of SEO agencies, a lot of SEO people, and a lot of e-commerce managers, I think we get quite guilty. A lot of us are guilty of actually just writing what is functional because we're trying to write it around a keyword, rather than thinking, what do I need to put in here to get someone to come and visit my site because I don't have to pay for the traffic? traffic on SEO is free. What do I need to write in here to get someone to want to come and visit my website so we get as much traffic in as possible? And then we can work on the conversion bit once they arrive on site. So that gets quite overlooked. So we do that every few months for every single one of our clients. It's a massive deep dive into the data to see what trends are there around wordings that work, sentences that work, title tags that seem to work versus ones that don't, what's above and below our average CTR right now. And by changing them, you can see traffic go up quite significantly, let alone if you do it 3 or 4 times a year like we do for some of our bigger clients, constantly changing that to see which one is going to be the best fit. And then obviously looking back as well to go, right, Google's updated itself on all of them now. So they're all reading the new ones that I've written. How many of them is Google actually ignoring and not using it at all? How many are getting a better click-through rate? How many are actually getting a worse click-through rate? Again, if you just do it once and then hit and hope, it's a complete gamble as to whether it's going to work, and there's a smarter way of doing stuff. And it's one of the easiest things to do on SEO. It's not expensive. It can be done quite quickly. So that's a massive win. And creative directors, block your ears. Number 3, we have simplified a PDP page for one of our clients and started an A/B test. I'm going to keep you guys posting this because it was only Ruby and our team started this last week. I'm going to keep you posted on it because I'm very excited to see what happens. We've basically taken out a lot of the USPs and reasons to buy, which is the opposite of what I'm always preaching about. But by simplifying the page, it keeps the customer's attention, we believe, and that's what we're trying to prove, keeps the customer's attention on the product and going, I clicked on the ad knowing the product, knowing the price, knowing what it looked like, and knowing what it was. So now I just need to buy it. So if we make that as easy as possible, do we get more sales or less sales? And it will vary from brand to brand. We're doing that in a brand at the moment. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for listening, guys. We're going to finish on one of the funnest bits of the show, the Quivia. So, conclusion, you need to test unique discount codes. Oh, darn, I've just read out the answer. Oh, dear. Max, scrub that. Start this bit again. Right, the most exciting part of the show, well, one of the most exciting bits, Quivia. So, you may have heard on a recent show, Seguno have done a discount code report, which is quite exciting. And on this discount code report, they have looked at the average order value year on year for, I didn't write it down, sorry, it's thousands of brands, possibly tens of thousands of brands they've audited to do this. There's a huge amount of data that they've looked at. And I'm going to give you some stats. So in 2025, so far, the average order value, so the average customer places per order across all those brands, the average is $90 when they without a discount code on the email. So to give you an idea, so that's the control group, that's the benchmark. So $90 was the average order value when there was not a discount code on the newsletter that was sent to the customers. When they added a generic discount, and this is not the Quivia, you can have a quick think, does it go up or down? It went down by $4, which kind of makes sense because you're offering a discount now. This doesn't factor in the conversion rate. I didn't look at any of that. Just looking at the average order values here. But with a generic discount code, it went from $90 to no discount code to $86 with a generic discount code. So it's the same code anyone could use. It's just, welcome 10 or something, 10% off for everybody. And then the question I'm going to ask you guys today is, and you might have heard me joke about a second ago. Yeah, you might have heard me joke about it. Yeah, the answer is it does go up, but how much does it go up is going to be this week's trivia. So when brands were using a unique discount code, so it's unique to each customer. So I would receive a different one to you, who'd receive a different one to the next person, different one to the next person. Everybody got a unique code. How much higher or lower was the average order value with unique codes? And I'm going to, for the first time on today's show, have a quick sip of tea. What do you think about that? How much did the average order value go up or down? Alrighty, so it was $90 without a discount code, $86 with a generic discount code. It was $120 with a unique discount code. So compared to, the other two were both, average between the two is $88. So it has gone up about 50% by adding unique discount codes to the newsletter. How exciting. I've been Nick. You guys have been great. Thanks for tuning in. Back again. In fact, I don't know if we are here on Friday. Sorry, I haven't checked the schedule, but I think we might be missing a week. If we are, you can listen to this 3 more times on Friday because then you'll get your fill of winning with Shopify. If not, go and listen to an old episode. Thanks for tuning in, though. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, leave us a review on whatever platform you're listening to, and back again next week for another Tuesday Tea Break Talks. Take care, everybody, and thanks for tuning in.